We going?
I don't
We
know.
live right now.
We gotta find a room to get
This
in.
one?
Yeah, that's fine.
All right.
All right, we are live with the home front.
Facebook Live, that is.
Yeah, Facebook Live. Let's see, tag friends. I'm trying to tag Evan on this.
Let me share this.
I think I already tagged you. Yeah, I already tagged you.
You did? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to share it while we're live. I didn't do that last week. Apologize here.
I gotta get out of here.
Yeah, this is going to be a quick one, guys.
Yeah, it's gonna be a quick one. We are talking about credit tips. By the way, hello. Thank you for joining. Please let us know
Thank you.
where you're joining us from. And say hello. Share this out. You never know who is going to benefit from this information. Hello, Tony. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Good. What we're talking about today is the 5 ways. Actually, probably going to give you guys a little bit more, but
It's going
5
to
ways.
be condensed version this morning. We both have to run out to do some showings.
Right.
But we wanted to make sure we got on here. Episode 5. What's up, Dion? Thank you for joining.
Appreciate you watching. Please share, like, comment. We love to give you guys the inside information on how we can help you achieve your goal of buying a home, whether it's now, it could be a few months now, it could be years, 5 years out. We just want to help you guys get to what you guys want to do, and that's ultimately to buy a home. So anyway, what we're talking about today is the 5
look at
ways.
the love. Thank you. Oh, real quick, we need to make sure anyone first watching the show. I'm Krista Campbell with Waters International Realty out of Austin, Texas.
The
buyer's
awesome Krista
agent.
Campbell.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And Evan, you introduce yourself.
I'm Evan, licensed realtor in Texas. Also work at Waters International and been doing 5 episodes of the Home Front with Krista. Thank you for asking me to come on the show.
Absolutely. Thanks for joining. And again, we're out of the Austin area. We work with buyers.
Thanks, William, for logging in. Anyway, keep going. We'll cut each other off during moments of the show, just so y'all know, just give y'all shout outs. We appreciate y'all tuning in.
And every week we do a show at 9 a.m. Central Time so we can educate people on how to get in a home if you're looking, or just tips to help you for the future. This week we're going to talk about tips to boost your credit score before you buy. Now, sometimes we talked about before, there are myths and tips to improve your credit score overall, but they may not help you necessarily for when you're getting ready to purchase. So the first one we have is get your hands on your credit report.
Why should they do that, Krista?
Because you need to know what's on your credit report. If you wait until you're ready, like your lease is up April 1st, it's March 5th? March 7th? I don't even know what day it is.
I don't know what day it is either.
You wait until 30 days or less than 30 days before you need to make a move. You are really behind the time. You really have waited too long because it takes at least 30 days to close. I mean, you could close quicker, but really, realistically, give yourself time. Get educated on the process. Knowing what your credit score is going to help you, because you may have a couple things that could easily get removed, but it does take time, and then you're going to be up against a deadline, and you're rushing, and then you're settling. So it's just really important to make sure you know what's on your credit report. You can go to annualcreditreport.com and get a free copy, and then that's not going to tell you your FICO score, but it's extremely important that you get with a loan officer. The earlier the better.
Sooner the better.
Yeah, mistakes happen on your credit report, so you can easily get them fixed. And they do happen there. It's much easier for them to put them on than for you to get them removed. And they state that every year, 25% of people who get declined for a mortgage had errors in their credit report. Thank you, David, for watching. Super
Thank you,
excited.
David.
Yes, thank you for joining us this morning. It says when you spot them, you can get them fixed. You can find step-by-step guides on how to file a claim, or if you're working with a loan officer or a lender, they can easily, guide you through that process on getting your credit report fixed.
Exactly. So that was tip number 1. Just get your credit report pulled. And where can they go, Krista, to do that?
You can go to annualcreditreport.com, or like I said, if you're thinking about purchasing a home, the earlier you get with a lender, the better, because they can pull it for you and they can pull your FICO score. They can actually say you only have a few things that you need to get fixed, and they'll tell you exactly what to do. So getting with a lender is really a better plan. And if you need credit repair, they'll also tell you what you can do.
Got it. Okay. Well, appreciate that, Krista.
David said, "Lot of love from Texas. Good to see you all. Happy you can't see the bags of trash." Late night, David.
Yeah, we appreciate it.
And David is my very good lender friend from the DC area, and he also is licensed in Virginia, DC, Pennsylvania, and I think Florida as well. So if you need a lender in those areas, he is the guy to reach out to.
Appreciate the plug. Cool. So the second tip, guys, to increase your credit score today is you want to set up payment reminders. I would do even like a Google or a calendar reminders. Just set it up for once a month. You don't even have to, remind yourself to do it every single month. You can actually set up the automatic reminder to follow up once a month to be able to do that. Or what you can do is, for those accounts that do allow you to set up automatic payments, I'll let you guys do that as well too. The reason being is because you guys' payment history actually makes up about 35% of your FICO score. It's actually, here's the how the model is. So 35% is based off of you guys' payment history. So, if you have a history of making bad payments, what we need to do to offset that is, one, you guys need to pay that off, the late payments, as soon as possible and get up to current as soon as possible. And then you want to continually, pay your bills on time. And then that way, what we're trying to do is we're trying to offset, some of those late payments with, it just got in the way. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to offset the late payments with positive payments. So over time, you guys' negative, the negative payments will be outweighed by the good payments over time. Just so you guys know, there's not a quick fix, but what we're trying to do is, like I said, increase your credit score as soon as possible.
Yeah, I mean, anyway, if you have any 30-day lates, basically, you can't get approved for a loan within a certain amount of time. I know, and I could be wrong, I'm not a lender, but I think you need at least 12 months of clear credit history means good payments for a VA loan. Other types of loans require 24 months, no dings, no 30-day lates, anything. So that's really step number 2 for sure. After getting your credit or taking a look at it, is making sure that everything's on time. You can set up automated payments, just like Evan mentioned. You can go to their websites and set them up, or you can set them up through your bank. But either way, so there's no reason to miss them, just set them up for automated payments, and it'll make your life a lot easier, less to remember.
Right. And to continue with that scoring model, like I said, 35 is based off your payment history for your FICO score. 30% is based off the amounts that you guys do owe on your credit cards or just credit lines in general. About 15% is made up of the length of your credit history. 10% is focused on the types of credit that you do have. So you just don't want to have just a credit card. You also want a house payment in there as well, an auto payment as well in there as well too. You just want to have a variety. And then also 10% is based off of new credit. So what that means is basically, guys, if you are, if you keep opening new accounts like every week, that's going to negatively ding your score, or, every month. So you just want to keep new lines of credit down to a minimum if possible.
I would say the next tip is to pay over the bottom line, meaning pay more than your minimum on your revolving credits. But going hand in hand with that, you also need to keep your balances below 30%, and that's really going to keep your score higher. They say here, make it less than 50%, but I've heard many times that the best as far as keeping your balances low is keeping them below 30%, meaning if you have a $1,000 limit, don't use more than $300. It's pretty simple, and if you can do that, then you'll have a pretty good score. And they say also, don't move it around. A lot of people will just move the debt around to different cards. They've caught people trying to do that, and it doesn't really help you. So just pay it off. Don't move it around. Just pay it down and keep your scores low, and that in and of itself will boost your score tremendously. Right.
Good point, Krista. Our next tip is actually do not close your unused credit cards. Do not do that. As long as they're not charging you an annual fee, that's what I highly recommend. I would keep that card. if as long as it doesn't charge you guys a fee, because when you do close that line of credit, what that closes
Payment history.
your payment history. Good point. So
It removes it completely from the credit report, and you can't use it as positive credit.
So yeah, do not do that, guys.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to buy a house, this is what we're recommending. Obviously, you can close them if you want to, but it will negatively impact your score because it takes your payment history down. If it's one of your longer credit cards, if you've had it for 10 years but you just don't use it, just use a little bit on it, maybe buy groceries and then pay it off, but just keep it active to make sure that you maintain a positive history for the long time. They want a long amount of history, as long as you can get.
Right. And when Krista says active, we're talking about using it at least once a month. So you guys got to use it every 30 days.
Otherwise, they'll close it for you.
Yeah. Krista, the next tip?
They say the next thing is to cut your cards, but that in and of itself is almost like closing it and not using it. But I mean, if you have a hard time with self-control in terms of using your cards, then cut up the cards, don't use them. But I would say make sure that they're the accounts that you've had the least amount of time, because you want to keep a good mix, like Evan said. You also want to have them active, the ones that have the longest time on your credit, so that way they can show that you are responsible with your credit. Because if you don't use it, how can you show that you're responsible?
Right. Good point, Krista. Another thing that you guys can do, this is new, it's called Use Experian Boost. And basically what that is, this is kind of like a bonus tip for you guys. So for you guys that don't have like lots of lines of credit, what you guys can do is use Experian Boost, and what it does, it's going to use your utility payments. It's going to use you guys' cell phone bills that you guys pay. As long as you guys pay that on time, we can use that as positive credit. So what we're trying to do, like I said, is to offset and bad credit if you guys do have bad credit, or create more positive credit for you guys to increase that score. So that's one thing that you can do. And my master tip, you guys got to get approved to do this, but approval from the person that I'm about to tell you with this tip to do. All right, so the secret tip is what you guys can do is become an authorized user on a card by somebody that has good credit.
Make sure they have good credit.
Right. So what you guys can do is, if you know somebody that has really good credit and, good history, what you can do is you can become an authorized user on that card. And what that's going to allow you guys to do is you guys can inherit their credit history. Okay. So what I recommend too about those people that do have good credit that let people do that, I would probably draft up like a contract in writing, so they don't. So whoever uses you guys' credit doesn't affect it too much.
Make sure they're very trusted.
Yeah, and trusted as well too. But I've used that to help increase somebody's credit score, and we got them a home. But those are the tips. You want to just review over them real quick?
No, the one, I think I just have one to add.
Okay.
Yeah, one to add is they're saying that buying a car can dent your credit score. Well, that's the new credit, but it's the best way. It's best to avoid big changes with your finance right before a home purchase. I always tell people, don't do anything with your credit. Once you're getting ready to get under contract, or you're looking for a new house, ask your loan officer for permission. I know it sucks because it's your money, but you don't want to jeopardize your approval to get a new house. What's the end goal? You can do whatever you want once you get a new house, but if that's what you're trying to do, don't make any major moves. Don't make any big finance purchases.
Oh, do not buy no furniture.
Right. Don't even pay anything off. Pay it down, but don't pay it off, because it erases that credit history. If you pay the car off, it will wipe that history out, and that's responsible payments that you've made. So just pay their payments, make sure that they're on time, and don't pay anything completely off so it wipes off your credit.
Got it. Okay, Chris, you want to review what we went over today so everybody can have this written down?
We talked about, first of all, to make sure you have a copy of your credit report.
First thing you guys should do.
Making sure you look at it and get mistakes fixed.
The second thing that we talked about is set up payment reminders, guys. Real easy. Set up on your Google Calendar. If you guys use Outlook, use that. Real easy to do, and set up automatic payments, because we know payment history is what lenders use on the FICO score. That's just kind of their main baseline of what they use when determining, who's credit worthy. Yeah.
Maintaining low balances, making sure that you stay below 30%.
Stay below 30%. That's the third thing.
That's the third thing. We mentioned cutting up your cards if you have, a problem with self-control and purchasing. And then I think, did you have another one?
Yeah. The two bonus ones that we have is, like I said, use Experian Boost. That's especially for people that don't really have like credit, like too much credit history, but you guys are showing that you're making on-time payments by paying your utilities and cell phones and stuff like that. We can use that as well. And then the next bonus thing, like I said, is becoming an authorized user on a card, which will, pretty much dramatically increase you guys' credit score. We just need to you guys gotta get, permission to be able to do that from the person that that has good credit in order to help you out. But these are the tips that we wanted to give you guys today just to help boost your credit score. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the stream. We always like you guys tuning in, giving us feedback. We got this bottle of champagne, J. Roget. Was that? Yeah, J. Roget.
No, thanks again for spending, Wednesday mornings with us. And, we appreciate your feedback. Anything you guys want to know, topic-wise, you want us to expand on, please let us know. You can send us a message. Or if you're in the market and you have questions, feel free to send us a message.
Yeah, feel free to reach out, guys. It's never too late, never too soon.
It's never too soon.
Yeah, never too soon.
Even if you're like 2 years out, it's good to plan way ahead. Don't get behind the curve and try to start at the last minute and end up settling for something that you don't want.
That's the worst thing to do.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for tuning in, guys. We look forward to seeing you guys next week at 9 a.m. 9 a.m., right?
Yeah, 9 a.m. Central. Thanks
right.
again. See you guys next week.
All right, bye.